Good day. Mabuhay. Kamusta? Good day, mate. So today I want to talk about the introduction of a Canadian redneck. I'll explain. Now, it sounds like I live in close to where this guy lives. So I grew up with those type of guys. I didn't work on the oil rigs. Too many crazy MFs. They didn't care. They worked crazy, and a lot of them got hurt because of the way it was. Fresh out of high school, or they dropped out and they went to work without much experience. So here you go. Hello, sir. Nice to meet one of Jeffy's sheep. Bah. Bah. Am I talking your language? I think so. So was your first job was a rig pig? That's what they're called, rig pigs. Did you drop out of high school like so many back then to chase the big bucks? The first purchase was a Firebird Trans Am or a Dodge Little Express truck, or maybe you couldn't decide and went with the El Camino. Yes, you guys were so cool because you guys had all this money, and you can come back and started laughing at the people that went to school to get an education and be smart. Most of you were athletes. That was it. You took the lowest class in English, the lowest classes in math, just to pass. But most of you did not graduate. So if you're working in the rigs, you're older than me by about 5 years. So what did you do when the oil patch crashed in 1981? Were you that far up the ladder that you could stay on to some of the ones that did not shut down? Because a lot of them shut down. Did you just wait it out and go back home and live in your parents' basement? And you need to stop kissing JD's butt because it's really hard to hear you. Your voice is so muffled. Oh yes, character. The rig pigs. They sucked at math and no way to budget their money. And the same goes today, except nowadays they have crack and meth to deal with just to get through the day. It's really sad nowadays because they're still making good money, but they're not coming home with much. And they're drinking. Now, why we call them rig pigs and rednecks? Fridays after work, or Saturday, depending on their work week, first thing they would do is head to the city, go to the nightclubs. Certain ones had the bouncers, a lot of bouncers. So that's what you did. You sat back drinking, and you see the rig pigs come in, and they wouldn't even stop to buy a beer. They just start a big fight with all the bouncers, start laughing, whether they got shit beat out of them or whether they beat the shit or just a draw. Sometimes the cops got called because it got out of hand. But this is the mentality of these guys. They just thought they were above everybody else and could do what they want. And they just wanted to prove just how tough they really were. And how crazy, I guess. So, were you one of those guys? Or did you stay away? A lot of them drank a lot, on site, on the rigs, even though it was not allowed. And then you said you started an oil company? And which one of those oil companies did you start? Did you buy the old wells from the main companies, Shell, Esso, and you thought a cheaper rate and could get more oil out of those wells before they're done? And then the oil prices crashed again. And what did you do? Did you sell your business? Did you just close it down, or did you go bankrupt? Be honest. Come on. We all know how this goes, or at least I do, because I live in this province where oil is It's both used to be number one. Now, people are trying to diversify. A lot of people left because of COVID and because oil just is not stable anymore. So, if you closed your company, did you sell all your wells, or did you go bankrupt? Because in the news lately, there's this massive crap going on with these companies having oil wells and just abandoning them. Now they're sitting there. They could be empty, they could still have oil in them, but they're useless. They're not running anymore, and it's going to cost the governments millions and millions of dollars to close off these wells, shut them down, and recover from them because they're a blight when you're driving through the countries side. So be honest. Did you get out before, or did you just shut it down and don't really give a shit about the farmers? Because that's where your oil wells were, farmers' fields. And then you say you went on to raise cattle and horses. No sheep, no goats, chickens? Maybe. Or was it one of those stinky cattle feedlots where you just had the cattle in pens and all you did was run along with the feed and feed them? And once in a while, just go through the pen with the tractor front end loader and clean the shit out. Yeah, it was very environmentally unfriendly. Most of them are slowly going out of business because they're not making the money. Yeah. So the same with the oil prices. The price of beef went up and down. So when the price of beef was useless, what did you do? Did you just sell them for a loss? Did you just keep them? No bank loans to bail you out? No loans from the Canada Farm Company? The Farm Credit Canada. Yeah, I grew up in a farm. I know how it works. You borrow in the spring if you're an actual farmer. If you're just raising cattle, well, that's just raising cattle. But if you're an actual farmer, you're planting your fields, you're harvesting them, spraying them, you borrow in the spring, you buy insurance, and you hope to have a harvest in the fall where you'll make your money back to pay that loan and have some extra money. Maybe enough feed to feed your cattle through the winter. Same with hay, all that. So just be more forthcoming. Tell us more about it. I don't want to hear about bohol from a guy from Canada like you. Have you been to the Philippines? Have you been to bohol yet? Doesn't sound like it. No. I hope you're going to answer these questions and be truthful. Because if you haven't been to bohol or Philippines yet, and you believe Jeffy, then yes, you are an idiot, as Jeff calls people. You say Brian calls them nasty names. Have you watched the videos that Jeff puts out? He calls everybody nasty names. He can't stop himself. If you don't believe and follow Jeff's words 100%, you're blocked and you're called nasty names. Because he's an atheist, he can get away with that? Come on. Use your head, buddy. You got to be smarter than that. And you have no clue. If you haven't been to the Philippines, you have no clue how much he lies to you about stuff. Seriously. He has not been in the Philippines that much. He got chased out before he could actually learn stuff. So in other words, wherever he goes, he's got a loud mouth, causes trouble, and runs from it. He doesn't stand up and stay his way. Most of his stories are from research on Google. And he has no actual understanding of the Filipino way. Because if he understood the Filipino way, he would know that Filipinos are nice, polite, caring people. They're happy with what they have, not what they don't have, not what the other person has. There, there is some jealousy there, but mostly they're happy with what they have. They get more, they get more. If not, as long as they have food on the table and their kids are dressed, that's all they care about. So I hope you understand that. That this guy is just a jealous lunatic. He doesn't understand life in the Philippines. Oh, he married a Filipina who was living in Australia. Dual citizenship. And who did he, where, how, what year did he marry her? How old was he when he married her? He likes to have them young. Was she 16 when he married her? Who knows? Nobody knows because he won't open up about that. It even slipped out that his wife's name is Gloria. And he shut that down pretty fast. So yes, he's not too bright. And he does lie. A lot of lies. So